The Nolan Walls independent autopsy was just revealed, and this situation just got a whole lot more weird. Like, there's never a dull or simple day in this Nolan Walls investigation. As somebody who's been on the side of, I think Nolan Walls was murdered, I don't think he accidentally drowned, and I've been a pretty strong supporter of the family of Benjamin Crump, of Al Sharpton, and their involvement in this case. But after this press conference, I'm here to tell you, bro, I think the family needs a new spokesperson. I think Benjamin Crump is amazing, and he's great at organizing, at rallying, and at behind the scene work. But the family needs somebody who can present the information the right way. I don't think that person is Benjamin Crump at this moment in time. I think maybe he's just too far old. He don't really have it anymore. But this press conference really demonstrated why they need a new spokesperson.
Preliminary report, second autopsy, death of Nolan Xavier Wells. Cause of death, undetermined, pending investigation. And we'll explain that as we go through the report this morning.
There were a lot of explosive things that was revealed during this press conference that really made me sit and think, this kid was murdered. That really pointed in the direction of foul play, and we'll get to those things shortly. But there was also some huge disappointments. See, the original purpose, or I feel like what everybody thought the purpose was to figure out, did Nolan Walls drown or not? Because there were rumors that, that when they found the body, it wasn't waterlogged. So a lot of people thought, if it's not waterlogged, then he was dead before he got put in the water. So this independent autopsy was supposed to clear up those answers. Did Nolan Walls drown, or was he dead before he drowned? Or before he was put in the water? Well, apparently there was like a 0% chance that this was ever going to be answered in this independent autopsy. Because when the state of Mississippi, when Ocean Springs, when they sent over Nolan Walls' body, they removed the lungs and the throat. So there was no way this independent autopsy could ever determine his cause of death, like ever. So they did the independent autopsy and pointed out certain things they thought was maybe foul play or not, but the real answers and what we wanted could never have been determined in this independent autopsy because Nolan Walls' body got sent over without the lungs and without the throat, which I just think is bizarre and is odd, right? Now, apparently, Ocean Spring, they're still doing their autopsy. The results are not in yet. Now, my question is, if the independent autopsy was able to get done within a week, why hasn't Ocean Springs released their results yet? Especially if the family is in favor of these results being released. Now, they could say maybe they're waiting for, I don't know, man, like the grand jury. But they should be able to come out and say, we did the autopsy. We examined the lungs. Yeah, he drowned. Yeah, he was waterlogged. He drowned. Or no, he was not waterlogged. He did not drown. Why are they being so secretive? Why are they taking so long? Another thing that raised an eyebrow for me was when Ocean Springs sent over Nolan Walls' body to the independent autopsy, they left notes. And the notes was, this is what we worked on. This is what we saw. If you see any cuts here, here, or here, those are cuts that we did. If you see any bruises here, this is from what we did. So they left a bunch of notes. So for example, if you see, a cut in Nolan Walls' stomach or like near his heart, if the independent autopsy look at the notes and the notes doesn't say, yeah, we made that incision, we made that cut, then they will look at that and factor that into the cause of death. Or if they see, let's say, a bruise in the back of his head, and the notes doesn't say, oh yeah, that bruise is from us, we did this, then they will factor that into the cause of death. Well, when they got Nolan Walls' body, they found a bruise in the back of his head. And when they looked at the notes, Ocean Springs never noted that. Nor did Ocean Springs say, oh yeah, no, this is from us, this is from this and this. Ocean Springs completely ignored that bruise in the back of Nolan Walls' head in their report that they sent over to the independent autopsy.
The manner of death, undetermined, pending investigation. Statement of examination. This forensic pathologist was retained to perform a second autopsy examination on the body of Nolan Xavier Wells. Name of decedent, Nolan Xavier Wells, age 18 years old, race black, gender male, date of death unknown. Second autopsy date was performed on July 10th, 2026. Preliminary findings. and this is significant. Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy. He said the body had marked decompensation.
I understand that I should be the last one on planet Earth making fun of how somebody is pronouncing words, but this is, come on, bruh. If you are a spokesperson for a family in a situation this serious and this dire, you should at the very least be able to pronounce these words, be able to get it off. Because you need somebody who could give the information in the right context, who could relay the information for everybody to understand. I'll be real. Bring somebody in like a young Farrakhan, even though that's probably impossible to find. And I'll say a name. Bring Dr. Umar Johnson in or something. Let Umar Johnson present the facts and receipts. Let Umar Johnson relay the information and see how clear it gets. But Benjamin Crump is fumbling over words. He's making mistakes. He don't even seem like he fully understands what's going on right here. And to me, that's important. You need somebody like Umar Johnson or somebody with no baggage whatsoever who could come in and present the information. Now, when Benjamin Crump says, yo, they found something in the back of his head, they found a bruise in the back of his head. That bruise was not documented by the original autopsy. Two things. Either they missed it or they intentionally didn't mention it, hoping, the new independent autopsy is gonna miss it. But if you have a bruise in the back of your head, then obviously we have to talk about, okay, did he die from blunt force trauma? Huh? Well, is it blunt force trauma? Now, they're saying it could very well be a bruise because when he was found, his head was locked up against a rock. Maybe it's from that. But why did the original autopsy miss it? Now, there's two things. If they missed it, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because what confidence should we have that they're able to now conduct an accurate autopsy? Something that we can have confidence in if they miss something so obvious, like a bruising to the back of his head when they're trying to determine his cause of death. Now, if they intentionally left it out, that's even bigger problems. But we would just assume they just missed it, right? They're just incompetent. We would assume incompetence before we assume evilness. But how can you guys miss it? Now, the independent is saying we're not going to put too much stock into this. Right now, it's just undetermined, but there was a bruising to the back of his head. We just waiting on an autopsy in terms of the lungs. Because if it comes back that he did not die from drowning, water was not found in the lungs, fluid was not in the lungs at all, and he did not die from drowning, and you mean to tell me we're supposed to ignore trauma to the head, force bruising, blood in the back of his head? We're supposed to ignore that, especially now we're talking about, oh yeah, he didn't drown. We don't know how he died, but we don't feel like any foul play was done. Cut it out, man.
He talked about how he found red discoloration when he cut open into the back of his head towards the occipital bone, and he saw the red discoloration, and we actually saw the pictures of it. It's significant. You can't help but notice, why is this dark red here in the back of his head?
We'll have a few questions. We have my colleagues on either side with microphones. Please announce your name and your media outlet if you have any questions. We're going to be quick because we have other programming going on in real time. We'll go here first.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everybody. Samantha Chapman, ABC7 Chicago. You just unveiled a comprehensive outline of the independent report. Can you summarize for our viewers, because there's a lot to take in, a lot of information. So in summary, can you succinctly tell us what we can take away from this report? And also, if you can provide more details about the neck.
Yep.
I heard a lot of people behind me gasping when
Yep.
that detail was mentioned.
Yep. Let me try to be very comprehensive. As Dr. Roger Mitchell said, that the focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region, is significant because he cannot determine why you have that red discoloration in the back of his brain. That's significant. He also talked about, Mr. Williams, if you can, just the fact that as it's common practice, he was missing his throat when they received the body. And he wants to know why they held it back. He's not drawing any conclusions, but he said he would want to examine it if there were neck fractures or compressions to the neck. And he thinks that's significant to know at autopsy. The reason he said he would hold it back when he was medical examiner because he thought that there may have been some issues with neck fractures. The last thing that is significant is what we said before about him, the condition of his body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or unconscious? Was he forced or unforced into the water? He said those things are very significant. But he started off talking about this red discoloration in the back of his head is something that was of great concern to him.
I was under the assumption it's common practice that maybe they needed the lungs or the throat for additional screening and they couldn't send it because they were not done with it yet. I thought maybe this was just, I don't know, right? Like routine practice, but apparently it's not. Apparently the independent autopsy is saying, hold on, like you guys had it for about a week. Y'all could have done y'all test and sent it over. Why are you guys keeping it? So the person doing the independent, they're confused as to why Ocean Springs is keeping Nolan Wells' lungs and throat. The only thing that can be used for a certainty to determine his cause of death. My question is this. For all the doubters or for all the people who are saying, man, y'all blowing everything out of proportion. What's wrong with y'all? My question is this, man. At what point can these people just behave normal? At what point can we say, yo, they're just behave normal? At what point can we ask them to, hey, bruh, can y'all just do things the right way? How come every single twist and turn is always something? It's always something suspicious and sketchy and sus. Why can't y'all just be normal for once, man? They sent over the body for the autopsy. The throat and the lung is missing so they can determine the cause of death. They miss the red discoloration and bruise in the back of his head. Why can't they just do things normal for once? At what point do we say, hey, man, if every time these people are involved in something sketchy, suspicious about how they moving, then, they got to be sketchy and suspicious. That just have to be they have to be hiding something at this point. Because it doesn't make sense. They can never just do something routinely and simple. There's always some sketchy stuff being done here. Now, this is where we also have to say Benjamin Crump has to be held accountable as well. Because during this press conference, Benjamin Crump said something that wasn't true, that was false. And he was called out publicly. Now, the United Cajun Navy, the people who found Nolan's body, they fact-checked Benjamin Crump live. And this is not a good look. It's not a good look for somebody who's presented himself as honest and truthful and a truth seeker. So Benjamin Crump says that when Nolan Wells was found, he was found fully clothed. The Cajun Navy said that's just a flat-out lie. That's not true at all. So was Benjamin Crump given bad information or did he lie? If he was given bad information, I'm confused as to how Benjamin Crump, the person who damn near been here from day one, who's involved probably more intricately than anybody else, how is he being given bad information about whether or not Nolan Wells was fully clothed or naked when he was found?
That the United Cajun Navy are so forthcoming. The fact that they told us, we haven't heard from any of their local officials, that Nolan was found face down, fully clothed. Well, that's significant to us because the last time we saw him on the videos, he was without a shirt. So at what point did he put on a shirt? Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. There were almost 300, 400 people. Somebody knows something.
They took to Twitter to say, we didn't say Nolan was fully clothed when found. He was wearing only swim trunks. Please don't misrepresent our words at Attorney Crump. So they publicly fact-checked them publicly. This right here is just fueling the people who already feel like this is a race hustle. It's fueling the people who believe that anybody who's seeking justice for Nolan is a race hustler. This is just fueling the other side. Ben Crump, to me, needs to be removed. He needs to work behind the scenes, bring a new voice in who could really present the information. Benjamin Crump is looking confused. He got a lot of stuff wrong as of lately, and this is just unacceptable. These people are saying, bro, we didn't tell you that. Like, why are you lying? Now, how do anybody take what Benjamin Crump say from this point forward seriously if he's getting something like this wrong? Y'all let me know what y'all think, bruh. This autopsy, this press conference left, again, more questions than answers. And it is leaving more questions than answers primarily because of, again, Ocean Springs not doing things up to book. They aren't doing things in accordance to how they're supposed to do it. There's always something sketchy going on with these people. And I don't understand why. It's always something, right? It's always something sketchy. I just don't understand this. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? What do you guys make of the bruising and the lungs, and the throat being missing? Let me know in the comment section, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen where I broke down, how yesterday was a really bad day for David in court. All right, a very sketchy witness took the stand that needs to be arrested immediately. This David and Celeste situation is just getting started, and I'm covering every detail of this preliminary hearing. I'm gonna see you guys in this David video if you're curious about that case as well. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.